3 a.m. in the morning, and I'm sitting all alone. Nighttime and makes me shiver, I can feel it in my bones. So won't you...
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pesky Pole Podcast. How you guys doing today? This team absolutely blows. I'm done with it. 2023 is over. The Red Sox are mathematically eliminated. Joining me is Adam. Adam's going to take over for the rest of the episode. I'm tired of this bullshit. Adam, talk to the people.
Hey guys, this is Adam Wright of the Fumblerooski Podcast, also affiliated with the Amateur Hour Sports Network, also a sister podcast of the Pesky Pole Podcast that you guys are familiar with. So, plain and simple, the Red Sox suck. The only thing that the Sox and Red Sox fans all over New England had to hold on to is that at least they're not as bad as the Yankees for once, who are in last place for the first time in a very long time, and it seemed like they were going to finish there. Red Sox said, hold my beer. And they are now, here is the standings. I know Robert posted it on his podcast earlier, but as it stands right now, in first is the Baltimore Orioles, 97-59. They've already clinched their playoff spot. Not the division just yet. Tampa Bay is still there, just 2.5 games back at 95-62. But a great season from both of those teams. Nothing but respect for both of them. Followed by the Toronto Blue Jays, 87-69, 10 games back, but they still have 87 wins. Then the New York Yankees, 78-77. They have a record above 500, yet again for the gazillionth year in a row. Followed by your Boston Red Sox at a cellar-dwelling 76-80. So, yeah. Another year, another last place finish. It seemed like they would finish above the Yankees, who would finish in last, but they had that one little tiny boost to get them above the Red Sox, and the Sox have been free falling in the past since, forever. And it stinks because close to the trade deadline, I remember a time where we kind of had hope, right? And we were kind of thinking, this team is going to be pretty good. They just need to buy into a little bit, take a few more pieces. They had a three-man starting rotation going with a couple of bullpen days, and they were still winning games. It's like, just trade for a pitcher, and then you're set. They didn't do anything. And on top of that, Chaim Bloom had the audacity right after to say, this team is all underdogs. They all play hard, and they're going to go in. They're going to go out and win some games. Here's my problem with that: you can't call a team that you made. You can't call a team that you made underdogs. It's like complaining about Subway and saying the sandwiches they make are bad. You made the sandwich. Chaim Bloom made this sandwich, which is the metaphorical Red Sox. And he is saying that they're underrated, they're underdogs, and the team may be poorly made, but we're going to fight till the end. You can't say that. If there's anyone who can say that, maybe it's the manager, and even then he's still selling him short. You don't call a team underdogs. You just don't do that if you are part of the organization. Maybe the players can say that. They say, okay, we're being undersold. No one believes in us. We're going to go and win some games. If the general manager is saying that, he's basically shitting on his own work. So the Red Sox, obviously the team's going to say, screw you then. We're not going to work for you. And obviously that led to his ultimate demise. Chaim Bloom a couple of weeks ago was fired. I don't know Robert, did you do an episode on that?
I did not. I did talk about it a little bit on Pesky Pole, and thank you for eating up about 4.5 minutes worth of content time. That was much appreciated. But
of course.
No, not really. But the article is dropping tomorrow. I'm not gonna say exactly what I said in the article, but this is very. Firing Bloom was the best thing that the Red Sox could have done. First of all, this and you were going back to the trade deadline. This is not brain science or rocket surgery here, right? Things needed to get done. There were three main things that the Red Sox needed to have for this team.
Did you do that
Or
on purpose?
To say brain science and rocket surgery? Yes, I did.
Yes. Nice.
Yes, that is on purpose. Thank you for asking. So the Red Sox needed three things. They needed a starting pitcher arm because Chris Sale is dead. They needed at least two bullpen arms to keep this bullpen secure, and they needed a defensive-minded shortstop. Offense, they were fine. They've been top 3 in the league all year. Even in this spiral, they are still the third best offense in the league behind I got rid of the page, but just know that they're the third best offensive team in the league.
Yep.
And it not even close. Great offensive team, always has been, always will be. That will be the Red Sox. Right? Hold on, I have it here. They are behind the Texas Rangers and the Atlanta Braves. They have a better offense than every other team in the league. They can out-hit almost any team in the league. By the way, the Atlanta Braves have a 275 team average through the year. That is fucking insane. Then you go to the pitching, where the Red Sox are bottom 10 with a 4.57 ERA. The only teams that are worse than them are the Pittsburgh Pirates, not a playoff team. The Angels, speaks for itself. The Cardinals suck. Reds have been doing decent, but still need a couple pieces. White Sox suck. Nationals suck. Royals, yikes. Oakland, even. Holy shit, yikes. And then the Rockies, who have a 5.63 ERA. So those are the only teams that are worse. So you needed a pitcher, and it's been like that the whole year. It's not like that recently happened. It's been like that the whole year. Then you go over to fielding. They're the third worst fielding team in the league. The only two teams that are worse than them are the worst team in the league, the Oakland Athletics, and the Giants. They are not a better defensive team than any other team. The best defensive teams are the Rangers and Diamondbacks, which shocking to me, kind of honestly. But it's not a hard formula to follow, if you ask me. You see what team needs, you see where team good, you see where team bad. You fix what team bad, and you make team win. Am I speaking in a complicated tongue? I mean, because I know I said sell at the deadline. I know I said blow it up, right? And I still stand by we should have done that. But it's obvious now that there was pressure on the front office. Heads were going to roll. That was obvious. Heads were going to roll if the team didn't make the playoffs. So it should have been all in, push or bust.
I feel like it's Heim failing to commit to either side. If they were to sell, I feel like no heads would roll, because at least they have a direction that they're going in. They're punting on this season. They're saying we probably don't have what it takes to win right now, but a year or so, a year, maybe two, we have a young team. We could do some things here.
They did not have a young team. They had young pieces. They did not have a young team. The average age of this team was 30.
Right, because of all the veterans who are playing very well. I'm saying that if you want potato, young pieces.
Yes.
If you were to go and say, okay, let's trade Justin Turner. Let's trade Adam Duvall, right? Let's trade some of these older pieces who are in your pitching staff who are playing very well.
While their ceiling was high.
AKA
like
James
Paxton.
Like James Paxton, who was kicking ass.
Do you know he the AL pitcher of the month for like July or June?
Do you know how much starting pitchers were fetching during trade deadlines? It's been insane the past couple of years. Even if you're just an average starting pitcher, you rake in some top 5 prospects within organizations.
Mm-hmm.
Like a couple of them.
Did you see the Verlander and Scherzer trades? They got immense value back for the Rangers, getting back a 38-year-old Scherzer.
Even Lucas Giolito did that too, didn't he?
Yes.
He and then you've got Paxton, who is doing awesome. You would have gotten something for him. You would have gotten something for the other guy whose name I'm blanking on. Not him. No, you wouldn't have gotten anything. I'm completely blanking on his name. Nick something.
Nick? I don't know. Keep going.
Never mind. Either way, you have some veterans. All I'm saying is that you have some veterans.
Nick Pivetta. Nick
Pivetta, yes. They could have traded him. Average starting pitcher who is doing really well as a long reliever.
Mm-hmm.
That would have fetched you something. You have a lot of pieces you could have sold off here and gotten some value out of, but you didn't even do that. Justin Turner, you just wasted a season from him. You're not going to the playoffs with him, and you're not selling him to get younger pieces and make this team get even younger than they are. They're not doing that. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they could have committed to either side, and it would have worked out. If you bought, I bet this team would be still in playoff contention right now.
Oh, 100%. They just got eliminated today.
Exactly.
After the loss against the White Sox, they've been officially eliminated. And the only teams that can technically still get there, I believe, are the Yankees and the Astros are the two that are out. Let me just check that. But I believe it's the Yankees and the Astros are the two that are right outside. You're still there? Or did we lag out?
Well, you were lagging.
Well, it's recording on my end, so it's probably okay. Anyway, it's Seattle, and technically the Yankees are still alive at 78 and 77. They're 6.5 games back, but they're basically 1 game away from being eliminated. Seattle is only a half game back of Houston. Toronto is basically got their spot locked unless they shit the bed hard, and Tampa Bay has their spot locked now. And can we just salute Baltimore? Are we going back to 2020 days where we will become Baltimore fans in the playoffs? Are we at that time now?
No, because they're not underdogs anymore. They're not a team that we just root for. Because I mean, they're right now, as of right now, they're the best. I believe they're the best team in the American League, right? Yes,
they are the best team in the AL, right?
Yes,
97
best
wins.
team in the American League. And they're the second best in all of baseball, only to the Atlanta Braves, who have won 100 games. So they could catch them.
Yeah. By the way, can we just salute San Diego for still technically being in the playoff push?
No.
Adam, salute the Padres. Salute Xander Bogaerts.
They took Xander Bogaerts from us.
Xander Bogaerts.
They took Xander Bogaerts from us. And no. So no.
In case you were wondering, the Colorado Rockies have been eliminated from playoff contention.
Oh, really? I was wondering that.
Just in case you were wondering. I mean, they're only 25.5 games back from the last wild card spot. They're only about 43, 44 games back from the Atlanta Braves.
Also, I want to touch on one other thing as far as the Red Sox go.
I was going to go over some players and stuff over the past month to see how far they've dropped, but please continue.
So you traded Mookie Betts,
who
right now is in the thick of the MVP race in the AL. 309 batting average, 39 home runs, 105 RBIs, 1,000 OPS, all of that. We don't need to revisit that, but you can just know how he's doing. Either way, the main guy who you got from that trade, Alex Verdugo, not only has he shown to be a shitty leader, but he's not that good. Like you need to get something better than Alex Verdugo if you're going to trade Mookie Betts. And the reason I'm bringing him up right now, the reason he is relevant is because he is entering his last season of team control.
And he's been on a slump and a half.
So what do you do with him at this point this offseason? Do you commit to him and sign him to a longer-term deal? Or do you trade him when his value is high? He may have a slump and a half, but he is still regarded as one of their better hitters. He's a speedy guy. You can get some value out of him if you trade him.
So,
but
right now,
he is not, I mean, the fact that he was sent home on a game that they actually needed him. He was late to a practice, and then Alex Cora sent him home. I'm actually in favor of them doing that to him because he's supposed to be a leader on this team. They needed him in the lineup that day. They were still in the playoff race, And they said, and he was late. They told him when to
Mhm.
be there, and he didn't. He took that with a grain of salt. So,
Yeah.
if you are going to trade him, you do that right now. As soon as the offseason begins, you trade this guy.
Mm-hmm. So with that, throughout the entire year, during like beginning of August around there, he was batting around 280, 290. That's dropped down to about 266.
Yep.
So it has taken a fall, and in his last 30 days, he's batted 158 with a 198 on base percentage. So his value from where it was 2 months ago at the trade deadline has slid bar none. It's bad. So if you were to trade him at the offseason, you're not going to get as much because of that slide and because of this whole thing that happened. Right, with the disciplinary action and all that. Right? With both those things, it's going to but it's going to bring down his trade value.
Sure, it brings
Because
down
of that,
it sure it brings down his value, but they should he still has really good value with just by his name recognition and his track record alone. Like
mhm.
he was still regarded as one of the better players on this team for a long time. So I still trade him.
I can't hop on the boat of trading him at this point because you're not going to get as much back for him. And let's call a spade. The only reason you're so hard on him is because he was traded for Mookie Betts. If it would have been just hypothetical trade, if we would have traded Alex Verdugo for Josh Winkowski and some pick and some prospects, you would be all fine with them because we didn't give up anything. But we gave up one of the best players in baseball.
Right.
So that comes with a lot of burden on your shoulders. But at the same time, we got to remember he didn't ask who to be traded for. He was kind of thrown in the deal.
Right. Well,
So we can't blame him for that.
We're not blaming him for that, but we already didn't get the right value for Mookie Betts in return. Like this is what we got. So do we commit to him or do we trade him? And he still has pretty good value, but I feel like it's going to tank even more in the coming years. And so at that point, I feel like you trade him while his value is still high. He's still a productive player on this team, 266 batting average as of right now. But in in past years, he's still had a 280 to 290 batting average. So that's kind of what teams think that they are trading for, which they'll probably get. He's still a good player, but he has a shitty attitude. This has been a question for him ever since he entered the Red Sox organization. You've got to trade him. You just have to. There's no I don't see any other way out of this situation. I don't think he's a good leader. He's not a good influence in that clubhouse with the young team that is coming up here. I think he's got to go.
Yeah, I can agree with that. But I would still say hold on to him for just a little bit longer. I would say sign him for next year, trade him at the deadline. Hopefully his value gets higher. And I get it, you won't have that extra year of team control with him. And a reminder, you still have to sign him back and then trade him, which will be hard. Because he has arbitration, which is he's expected to get about $4 to $5 million in arbitration, I believe. Going through this team though, just going to go through some names and how they've been doing for basically September. Devers 286 batting average, Turner not good 209, Trevor Story 165, Verdugo 158, Yoshida 257, Duvall 192. The prospect whose name I can never remember how to pronounce that you love.
Ceddanne Rafaela?
Ceddanne Rafaela. Yes, thank you. 294 batting average. He's been one of the few that's been actually good. Casas 323, Connor Wong 189, Wilyer Abreu 333. Luis Arias has not been good. He had a little hot start since he got traded here, but then cooled off heavily. Reese McGuire, go fuck yourself. not literally, because we know he'll take it to heart. And then Bobby Dahlbeck at a 333 batting average for not a lot of opportunity, but 333 batting average is still 333 batting average. Just so we're clear, since September, you know which pitcher has played in the most games, Adam, for us?
I want to say Bayo, or was
Say
it one of
Bayo.
the relief pitchers?
Bayo, it's one of the relief pitchers.
I couldn't tell you.
Mauricio Llovera.
Oh, that guy.
Now I got to tell you something. All right, coming close, everyone. Who in the flying fuck is Mauricio Llovera? Okay, I'm not a Red Sox casual. Okay, I know Red Sox baseball. I run a podcast on it. I've never seen this man in his goatee in my life.
They traded for him.
Okay, I don't know who the hell he is. He's 2-3 on the year with 27 games played with a 4.5 ERA. And you're telling me that's the best we got? That's the guy we're gonna throw out there the most in the month of September? All 5'11", 224 pounds of him? That's it? Okay.
They traded for him.
Yes. Next up is John Schreiber. He has not been doing good with a 5.11 ERA. Brendan Bernardino, 9 ERA. Winkowski, 2.45 ERA with 11 innings pitched is okay. Chris Martin didn't give up a run. Joe Jacques, I think it's how you pronounce his name, or Jacques. I don't know, but he's another one of those guys where it's like you're not a prospect. You're 28 years old. Why are you here? Same with Nick Robertson was one of the guys we got in the Kike trade. He's not been doing good. 5.14 ERA. Zach Weiss, I have no idea who you are, but a 2 ERA and 8 innings pitched. You're 31 years old. You're not a prospect. See, I would be fine if these guys were prospects. None of them are freaking prospects. Garrett Whitlock did decent. Brayan Bello has not been good. 24 innings pitched with a 6.93 ERA. Cutter Crawford, not been good. 22 innings with a 6.85 ERA. Tanner Houck, with a 24 innings pitched with a 4.4 ERA. All right. Basically, here's my thing with pitchers, right? When your ERA starts to look like an old lineman's 40 time, it's not a good thing. It's not a good look for the brand. Okay,
I guess that's one way to look at it.
Yes. Kenley Jansen with a 15 ERA, by the way.
With a what?
15. 1-5.
All right, next.
Chris Sale, 24 innings pitched with a 3.65 ERA. We'll take that. Nick Pivetta, 3.08 with 26 innings. We will definitely take that. Who is Kyle Barraclough? Bearclaw, however you pronounce that. I'd put some respect on his name if he was like a rookie, but this motherfucker's 33 years old.
He was a good relief pitcher back a few years ago, but he's kind of bounced around in the minors. He was in the Woo Sox. He was on the Woo Sox for about a month or so, and he was probably our best pitcher at that point. And that earned him a trip back to Boston in the big leagues, and it hasn't looked pretty at all.
All right, great. His ERA is a 20.
Yeah.
And then you have James Paxton, who I will give him the benefit of the doubt, has not pitched a lot in September, has only pitched 1 inning, but has an ERA of 40.
Yeah.
Okay, let me say this. When your ERA is higher than your age, that's not a good look for the brand.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it.
Okay.
All right. Can we change topic?
Yeah, that's about all I got for this.
We can complain about the Red Sox all day.
We got 6 months to complain about the Red Sox. But for people who are listening, what you're going to see for the next couple months is going to be basically I'm done talking about the 2023 Red Sox team. I've already said you're going to get this podcast episode. You're going to get a article on Amateur Hour Sports Network. Put some respect on our name. And then you're going to get a YouTube video on the Pesketball podcast, mainly because I don't have a camera right now because iPhone decides to update it bullshit times. and it's still updating 25 minutes in. I was going to put on the camera halfway through, but whatever. So, Adam, really quick, who you got winning the World Series? Who's the prediction going into it?
Give me the Braves. Braves have been
That's-
really good, I think, and they have the probable league MVP in Ronald Acuna.
Yeah.
The team's been all around a really good team. Pitching is really good. Their offense is unbelievably good. The Dodgers are another team I think that could make a run again. That's a team that's a well-oiled machine that I believe anyone should be modeling their franchise after. They're in the playoffs all the time. Yes, they have had some issues with how do I put it? Actually cashing in, but
and
they stay competitive. They always have a future. They always have prospects in their system. They're always spending, and it always works out. I mean, they traded for Mookie Betts a couple of years ago, and he's their best player right now. It's unbelievable.
And the prospects didn't take a dent.
They got
doing so.
They got Freddie Freeman in free agency, and he's protecting Mookie Betts in the middle of the order. Yeah. I mean, it's been awesome how things have been going. And yeah, maybe they let go of Justin Turner a couple of years too early, I might add. But they're replacing him with pieces that are actually doing well too. So that team is just constantly playing. Man, but Super Bowl, World Series prediction. I think it'll be the Braves. Give me the Braves. They're better postseason performers than the Dodgers.
True. So, I'm gonna go because I could easily say my real pick is the Atlanta Braves, but for sake of clickbait, fuck it, give me the Toronto Blue Jays. Give me Toronto.
What the hell? They may not even make the playoffs.
They made the playoffs. They're in they're the second wild card team.
They are right now, but that doesn't mean they actually are in yet.
They're gonna make it. They're only like a game out or a game away from clinching. So
Seattle is a half game out.
Seattle's a half game out from Houston.
Right.
And
so
Toronto has 2 games.
I'm just saying, okay, you can have your prediction. If we're gonna give bold picks here, let's see. Give me
Minnesota.
Give me Philly. Give me the Phillies. I want to see Dave Dombrowski win one.
Honestly,
just
I'm kind of there.
Rub it in the Red Sox faces. Chaim Bloom was out after 3 years. Dombrowski's new home already has another championship contender.
Yeah.
And they were just in the World Series last year. I'm just like...
Honestly, teams that I would love to see make a run for it is Cincinnati, Miami, Chicago. If any one of those 3 teams could put together a Cinderella story, I think it would be amazing to see Cincinnati get back to those glory days, to let Chicago have a miracle of a run after signing Cody Bellinger this offseason, and him not necessarily getting back to prime 2019 Bellinger, but having a damn good season. All right. And going from there.
Change topics real quick again. I want to address Chaim Bloom.
Go fuck yourself.
And his firing. Because we didn't really cover it that we covered the trade deadline, but not well enough in his tenure. 2021 was a great year. It's a year we would say is a fluke, kind of like the 2013 postseason.
Oh, 100%. I loved every second of it, but it was a fluke and a half.
Here's what I'll say. I understand the argument for those defending Bloom, because he did help recreate this farm system, which was empty by the time Dave Dombrowski left. But let me tell you a dirty little secret about prospects in the farm system. Most of them don't pan out. You have some top prospects. Some of them maybe 1 or 2 might turn into a superstar, if that. Mm-hmm. Then you'll have a few who might become utility players and bounce around the MLB. Part of being a great GM is knowing which ones are going to pan out and which ones won't. The prospects that Dave Dombrowski traded were Michael Kopech, Yoan Moncada, Manny Margot. Am I missing anybody else?
Not off the top of my head. And the only one that's really worked out along those is maybe Moncada.
No, he hasn't. He's been a big
okay.
bust. He was supposed to be one of the best players in all of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
The players he kept, Rafael Devers, Mookie Betts, Xander Bogaerts, Andrew Benintendi.
Mm-hmm.
He knew who to keep and who to trade away. And the players that they got for the players that they traded away helped them win a World Series, right? Chris Sale helped them win.
JD Martinez.
Craig Kimbrell did it. JD Martinez, right? He knew when to spend. He knew when to trade for players. He knew who to trade away. It's not just developing good players in your farm system and then throwing shit at the wall and hoping it sticks. Getting a bunch of prospects and maybe some of them pan out, and the ones that don't pan out, they just rot away in your farm system like the Bobby Dahlbecks of the world, right? Bad example.
Thank you for finally saying it. Thank you for
he
finally
is. That's
saying
literally
it.
what he's doing right now. But
yes, he finally said it. I'm proud of you, Adam. I'm proud of you.
Dombrowski knew who to trade and who to let go, and who to keep. What does Chaim do? He just holds on to prospects until he knows who's going to work out. And by the time we know for a fact, it's too late. You can't trade him. And if you do, you're going to trade him for some low-level player. That's kind of the point here, right? Like, he never did anything at the trade deadline because he never wanted to deal away his prospects. He wanted to have the best farm system in baseball. And also, another point to add on to it that may or may not slightly contradict my point. Some of the best prospects who have worked out under Chaim's watch aren't even guys who were developed in Chaim's system. They weren't players that he picked up.
Yeah.
Right? Cedar Rafaela is a Dave Dombrowski guy. Ryan Baio is a Dombrowski guy.
Mayer is a Dombrowski guy.
Who?
Or 2020 was still Dombrowski, right?
No. That guy was Chaim, but he's struggling mightily. That's another thing. But Tristan Cassis, one of Dombrowski's best prospects that he drafted, not a Chaim guy. The guys who have worked out have not even been Chaim's prospects. All of Chaim's prospects, they might work out, but they're all in single A right now. Yeah. Or there's the Keel and Anthony. Those guys are all over there, and Mayer is the guy who's closest to getting there. He's batting $150 right now in Double A.
Double A in Portland.
Now that's not. We'll see how it works out. It's early in the process for those guys, but the ones who have panned out, don't give Chaim credit for that. Give the guys before him credit. But that's kind of my point. We like the idea that he's creating a future for the Red Sox.
Yeah.
But you also have to know who to trade and who to let go. He did not do that.
Yeah.
And that's ultimately what came back to bite him.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with everything you just said. I mean, it's been, and especially because like my dad's been a big Chaim guy. He's like, oh, our farm system's now top 10. That's what he was brought in to do. No, he was brought in for us to win a fucking World Series. You don't win a World Series down at the AAA level or the AA level or the single A level. You win a World Series at the major league level, and he failed to produce at that level.
Yeah.
It's not that hard to understand. You know, you could talk about prospects and stroke your ego to prospects all you want. But until those prospects actually do something like you were saying, it's not worth it in the slightest.
It's just that there's nothing analytical. Like they call everything that he's doing, he's working by the numbers, he's playing the analytics game, he's looking at statistics that we don't know about. There's nothing analytical about what he's doing. He's hanging on to 7 prospects at each position and hoping one of them at each position works out at the other level. That's not analytical. That's just throwing shit at a wall and hoping it sticks. You got to know which ones to trade and which ones to keep. And he doesn't want to trade any of them. He just wants to keep them all and hope that some of them work out. And some of them will, but at the expense of letting everybody else rot. Trade some of them away for some actual proven big league talent to supplement all your prospects that actually work out. That's what Dombrowski did. It worked. It is not what Heim is doing. And he's ultimately out the door now.
Yeah. And for good reason. Because it's been a struggle for Red Sox fans, to say the least. It's been bad. So with that, we're going to move on to our last segment. For the people who are new, I will have my guest on, and I will kind of quiz them in a sport of their choice. Adam is obviously a football guy, always has been, always will be. Still is a baseball guy, but I would say you're more well versed in football than you are baseball.
I would say so. I know a lot about the game of baseball, but I think just being caught up with the MLB is one thing that I don't know too well. I know the Red Sox very well, but not I couldn't tell you the Atlanta Braves starting lineup outside of Acuna.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is, have you played Immaculate Grid?
I actually have not.
You have not? All right, you're going to lose your Immaculate Grid virginity here. Okay, so I'm going to give you two categories, and you need to tell me a player that fits both those categories. So, for example, if I ask you to name me a player who's played for the Patriots and Dolphins, you would say?
Give me
any day now.
Eric Rowe.
Eric Rowe. I would have said Kyle Van Noy, but okay.
I had his name in my head, but I couldn't think the name real quick. But I'm pretty sure Eric Rowe played for the Dolphins too, right?
Yeah, I believe so. So we're going to start. Your first category is you need to give me a Bengals and Jets player.
Bengals and Jets player, Tyler Conklin.
Tyler Conklin. And I will give you a percentage of people who have guessed that. Or if it's wrong, I'll tell you it's wrong. It is wrong.
Wrong? I thought Conklin was a Bengal, wasn't he?
Let me look it up, but this says it wasn't. For me, I would have guessed CJ
Uzomah.
CJ Uzomah.
Oh, that's the one I was thinking of.
He was a Viking, not a
Viking. Oh, there's another one I'm thinking of. Andrew Whitworth. No, Whitworth never played for the Jets.
No. We got to move on. Bengals and Lion.
A Bengal and a Lion. I'm trying to think.
And feel free to play along with us at home if you think of a name that we can't.
Bengal and a Lion. Jesus.
If you want to skip and come back to it, we can.
Skip and go back to it.
Okay. Give me 1 second. You need to give me a Bengal who has had a 3,000+ yard passing season.
Andy Dalton.
It's an easy one. Andy Dalton, 19% of people got the red rifle, the beautiful man himself. You need to give me someone who's played for the Jets and the Broncos.
Jets and the Broncos. Oh, man. Damn, that's a tough one. Oh. I don't know.
All right, we'll skip it. Broncos and Lions.
Broncos and Lions.
Mm-hmm. There's one name that's coming to mind that you can get from. I'll give you a hint on this one. The guy I'm thinking. Think about an old quarterback during the oh shit, we don't have Peyton Manning anymore days of the Broncos.
Trevor Siemian.
He never played for the Lions.
Never played for the Lions. Brock Osweiler?
Brock never played for the Lions.
Never played for the Lions. Paxton Lynch.
Nope.
I can't believe that guy was a first-round pick.
He was a second-round pick.
Paxton Lynch?
Yes.
He was a first.
Was he?
Yeah. One of the worst first-round pick quarterbacks I've ever seen.
Oh, you're right. He was 26th overall. Close enough. Give me a Bronco who had 3,000-plus yard passing season.
Give me
This is all time.
Peyton Manning.
Did he pass for 3,000? Yep,
Peyton
36%.
And then some.
36%. Oh, yeah, he had that one great year with the 5,500. My fault. Give me a Jet who was a first-team All-AP Pro.
Jet, who was a first-team All-Pro. First-team All-Pro. I'm going to go Darrelle Revis.
Revis Island. Let's see. 41%. Not bad. Give me a Lion who's a first-team All-Pro.
Lion, who's a first-team All-Pro. Let's go Calvin Johnson.
I was about to say it's either him or Barry Sanders. 48%. Give me a first-team All-Pro quarterback who has passed for 3,000 yards.
First-team All-Pro quarterback who's passed for 3,000 yards.
Mm-hmm.
That would be Aaron Rodgers.
7%. Nice. Old man himself. So I'm going to fill in the one for you with CJ Uzama.
Yeah, give yourself that one because that's where I was thinking CJ Uzama, but I said Tyler Conklin because they had like a little switch.
Yeah. So I know you could get this one with Broncos and Lions. Quarterback who was terrible, who started his career in Cincy and then went to Detroit, then to Denver in 2020.
So you say started his career in Cincinnati?
Backing up Andy Dalton. Started some games in 2018. Then started some games in Denver in 2019, or in Detroit in 2019, and then went to Denver in 2020.
Detroit in 2019, Denver 2020. What position is he?
Quarterback.
Denver in 2020. Who was the quarterback of them in 2020?
It was a position battle. Between him and Drew Lock.
It can't be Geno.
It's not Geno.
No.
If you can't fill it in, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, give it to me.
Is Jeff Driscoll.
Never would have gotten it.
What?
Yeah.
Put some respect on Jeff Driscoll's name, okay? It sucked. Absolutely terrible. And
exactly. I'm not respecting a player who sucks.
Fit the Broncos status perfectly of tall white QBs that suck. Okay?
That's right. Exactly.
And then a player who's played for the Broncos and the Jets. To end it off. Let me see if I can think of any off the top of my head. Anyone? So the way I think about it is I think about quarterbacks because it's easy. It's easier. And did he play for the Jets?
Was it Kyle Orton?
I don't think Kyle Orton played for the Jets. Yes, I just looked it up and my guy played for the Jets.
Oh, yeah. So then Kyle Orton.
Kyle Orton did not.
If he played for the Jets, then he definitely
No, the guy that I was thinking of. I actually have two names in mind. First round pick quarterback that.
No, he didn't play for the Jets. Kyle Orton never played for the Jets. He played for Chicago, Denver, Kansas City, Dallas, and then he finished in Buffalo. Yeah, no.
Yep. Adam, first-round quarterback, retired, tried to be a tight end.
Tebow.
Thank you. You finish out with only getting one wrong. Tebow was at 21%. The other guy that I was thinking of was Trevor Siemian.
Did he really?
Yes, Trevor Siemian played for the Jets for like 2 games. Just hilarious. So you got 8 of 9, which is not bad. But with that being said, Adam, plug your little channel before we hop off.
Well, go check out the Fumblerooski podcast by Power 88, Amateur Hour Sports Network, Secret Weapon Consulting. We're on pretty much every platform, and we give our hottest takes on all of the most relevant topics in the NFL. We have a lot of episodes that come out, lots of football content on our Instagram page. This is the only podcast that you will need
in terms of NFL, because of course you need the Pesky Pole podcast.
No, you don't.
Led by the sexy boy with no camera, Robert Shelley. How you doing? You already know. Put some respect on his name. Okay. With that being said, like I said before, following episodes are going to be a little bit talking about the playoffs. Going to get some guests in here. The minor leagues have just ended for your Boston Red Sox prospects. So we're going to be getting quite a few of them in here. I've already talked with a few of the guys who have been drafted this year by the Red Sox who are interested in coming in. So hopefully we can get a date with them. We tried to do it while they were in the rookie ball, but didn't really work out. Sent a few messages back and forth. It happens. Got to find days when those guys are available. And I'm available because I work like 75, 80 hours a week. So it's tough, but we'll have them on soon. We'll have some old faces on. I guarantee you're going to be seeing guys like Brendan Salucci back on here. He's been on the channel at least 4 or 5 times already. You're going to see him again. Awesome guy. So look forward to that. And then we're going to start talking about off-season 2024 once it gets there. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for listening to this. I would say watching, but there's going to be just a logo on the screen for all of it. God bless each and every one of you, and I will see you guys next time.
I don't wanna see you, but you fall apart. Even though you told me to get back your heart, I still spin inside your orbit. Yeah. You say that I should probably start to walk away. I'm hoping that you stop and make me have to stay, 'cause I'm floating in your orbit. Yeah, I'm stuck in your space. Just my luck. Push me away, you understand. There's nothing left to say. Pull me back, take my hand. Come on, name, you understand. I wanna stay. 'Cause I don't wanna walk away. 'Cause I don't wanna walk away. 'Cause I don't wanna walk away. Yeah, I'm stuck in your space. That's my luck. Push me away, you understand. There's nothing left to say. Pull me back, take my hand. Come on, please, you understand. I wanna stay. 'Cause I don't wanna walk away. I don't wanna see you, but you fall apart. Even though you told me to get back your heart, still spinning inside your orbit. I should probably start to walk away. I'm hoping that you stop and make me have to stay, 'cause I'm floating in your orbit.